10.2 miles, 8 minutes, 10 seconds per mile. I had an absolute blast out there today. Those are some of my dream running conditions. I had a smile on my face pretty much the entire time running in the Nike Pegasus 35 Shields. Although I didn't have a smile on my face the entire time, the first half of the run I did an out and back along the Heritage Trail in Iowa, starting in Dyersville, got to Farley and back. But in the beginning, it was slightly uphill and I had a stiff headwind to me. And so I didn't love that part, but I did love the rest of the run. When it's a little bit cold, a little bit snowy and bright out, I just love it. The only thing that could have made it even more perfect would have been if it was snowing heavily at the time, just because I love the way snowfall looks on camera. And when I'm running, I just love the way it feels as I'm running through snow. But other than that, it was just absolutely fantastic. A little bit warmer than I was expecting today, so the temperatures were just right for how I was dressed, and I just had a great time. The thing is, this run was a complete surprise to me. I had no idea that there would be snow out on the trail when I headed out there, and that's because it hadn't snowed while we've been back in Iowa, but it did snow earlier in the week and it remained cold enough that that snow stayed. And while the snow on all the roads and anywhere else that people are normally kind of going has all melted on that trail, since it's not heavily used, a lot of the snow was still there, and it was just fantastic. The one thing though, I ran in the 35 Shields today, and that was a really great choice for me there. And one of the things that I suspected about this shoe did turn out to be true, is that this shoe, for whatever reason, isn't as soft or as cushioned as its non-Shield version, which is unusual because in prior years, the Shield version has felt almost identical to the regular version, non-Shield version, just a little bit warmer and a little bit more grippy on the outsole. This year, it seems like there's been some tinkering that happened in the process of it getting put into a Shield version. I don't know if that's intentional or if it's the new tread pattern on the bottom, because they did change the outsole a little bit. That's doing it, but for whatever reason, this shoe feels a little bit less comfortable to run in. When I was running on snow and had that crunch, 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 that lovely sound that I love to hear when I'm running, that little extra bit of crunch made it so that this shoe was just right in terms of what I was looking for in terms of foot feel. But I think that's coincidence. I can't imagine that this was intentionally designed that way with the idea that you'd be running in snow in it. So very happy accident for me today, but it confirms my belief that this is a good shoe, but not great. I don't like it as much as the 35, and this is not my favorite Shield version. I probably like the 34 Shield more than I like this one. And the one thing that I did notice is I was slipping a little bit out there. I mean, I was running in snow and icy snow, and it was extremely dry out, so all of the snow was powdery or ice underneath. And I wonder if it's this tread pattern. Now, I mentioned that they changed it from last year, and they also changed it from the regular 35. The regular 35 has pentagons, and this year's pentagons were elongated. I don't know if that was just purely aesthetic to make it look like you're going so fast that, you know, it's a vision streak or a light streak, but like these are much more tightly packed and they're triangles, so it's a different pattern. It looks to me like a tire or a performance tire that's meant to grip in wet conditions, and everything about this screams wet to me. Even in terms of the branding here, they tell you how it's water treated or G.90 water repellent. All this material up top, that like that neoprene type of material up top with the rubber sealing over like the seams. Everything screams about being water repellent. And even if you look at the Nike ID, you can design your own Nike Shields with a lot of different color options. Not the color options that I want, but a lot of different color options. And you get two different options for tread on the bottom. One is for water shield and one is for like cold and ice shield. And so I wonder if this Shield version that I have is the water version. And even if you look at the bottom, it says Storm Tread, really small print here, and it's wet traction ready. And so I don't know if I just have like a wet version and that's why I don't like this one, or if there would even be a difference in terms of what I'm experiencing, the problems that I have with this shoe, with like a snow or ice one. But nevertheless, I did have a really good time still running in this shoe. This shoe definitely kept me very, very warm today, so feet were extremely happy. And even though I've been running a ton of miles this week and my legs are pretty tired, I was just having such a good time out there. I threw in a 7-minute mile at the end of the 10-mile run. And so the last mile was at 7-minute pace and it felt pretty good. So overall, just having so much fun out there today. And that's been kind of the theme for me this week, is to just enjoy running. And that's exactly what I've been doing. So a ton of fun. Before I go for today, I want to talk about today's charity runner. He's Stuart Dinsdale. He is going to be running the Reading Half Marathon next year with his rugby club. Now, his rugby club is a bunch of former Royal Air Force servicemen, and they're getting together and they've started a rugby team. And one of their members has a son who has cerebral palsy. And so what they want to do is they want to run the Reading Half Marathon as a way of doing two things. One is to raise money for their rugby club. I think it's a way for them to get together, cope and bond, and have some fellowship together as veterans. And so I think that's really important for people to do that as they transition back to civilian life. So I think that's great. But they also want to help raise money for that one of their team members' sons who has that cerebral palsy condition and needs stem cell treatments. And so they have a 1,750 pound fundraising goal. 1,000 of it goes to Enzo, who is the young child afflicted with cerebral palsy, and 750 goes to the rugby club. And so I wish that they were separated out in terms of the goals, but I understand how those things to these gentlemen are intertwined. Their community in terms of being RAF veterans, and them being a community in terms of helping each other out, helping each other's families. So I've donated I think I had to donate £5. I couldn't donate $5 for this one, but I've donated £5. And if you want to see what they're doing and you want more detail on their fundraising efforts, please check the link in the description below. What I try to do is I try to spotlight a different charity runner every day, give them $5, talk about what they're doing and who they're doing it for, and put their information in the description of the video in case any of you guys want to go see and are curious about what they're doing. So if you are a charity runner, or if you know a charity runner, please send your information my way. I'm always looking for new people to spotlight and put onto the channel. That's all I have for today. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Yo, what's going on?